Okay, welcome to my review of the Pent 2. I've already reviewed the first Pent product, which was just a silicone cover that fits over the tip of the original Apple Pencil. You can find out my opinions in my review in the link above. I was originally sent that product and I did test it out, and one of the comments and feedback that I gave the manufacturers was that it would be good if it was a permanent attached nib with a different texture that would perhaps replace the matte screen protector to give it that little bit of feedback and make it just, a bit more resistant, a little less slippery on the glass. So that first product I tried, I thought it was okay, but it has some limitations, and ultimately I didn't use it on an ongoing basis myself. But it did have some advantages in as much as it would probably protect the original Apple Pencil nib if you were taking notes. Had a tendency to tap the screen quite a lot, it would silence and mute that. And also perhaps it would have steadied your hand had you been a little bit wobbly and a little bit shaky. It gives you that little bit more resistance to enable you to be a little bit more stable with the kind of strokes that you produce on the Apple Pencil. Now, the feedback I gave for that product to the manufacturer was it would be even better perhaps if it were a replacement for the original nib that combined the texture of the silicone tip with the screw-in nature of the original Apple Pencil nib. And I think that's something that quite a lot of people have given them feedback on, and they've responded. They've actually come up with a patented design original to them, and this is what this review is about. So the Apple Pencil comes, like I said, with a hard nib that is slippery on glass, and this product seeks to remedy that situation. So this is the product. It's Pent 2, comes in a case which is rather nice, and it doubles up as a stand for your Apple Pencil. Let's give you the perspective on that, but you can see, and it's really quite a nice sturdy stand for it. I don't currently have a stand for my Apple Pencil, but in all honesty, I do lose it a lot, so it would be quite useful, I suppose, to have something and a place to actually store it when I'm not using it. So that's one aspect that actually I think is rather neat. So it stores the new tips and it is a stand. Interestingly, it actually has another compartment, so that's where obviously the new product is that we're going to try on the Apple Pencil, but it has two little sections either side, and you can just pull it off, and then within the inside of that case, it actually has an area, whether you can just see it in the light, has an area that you can clip in the original tips from the Apple Pencil. So I'll do that now just to show you. Whoops, I take it off, and we can just clip it in place, keeps it nice and secure, and then we can tuck it away in the case. That's pretty cool. So let's try out the new nib. So just like the original Apple product, it just screws in place, and it's a really nice fit. I've tried out other replacement non-Apple tips, and sometimes they're a bit stiff, they're a bit awkward to screw in, but that screws in just as easily as the original. It comes in two different color options. So you've got the original kind of white color, and you've got a black option as well. So that's good. I'll just move the case out of the way. And the idea is now that it's a replacement tip that is just as pressure sensitive as the original, and also you can do, well, we're not on the right kind of brush. If I go to something like the sketching and 6B, you can do it upright with the pressure sensitivity, or you can do it on the side shading too. So it responds to pressure and to tilt. I think it really does give you quite a nice resistance. It's not huge. I mean, I've tried out some, other products where the original sort of rubber tipped stylus that you might use with like the original iPad, if you're old enough to remember that, really was quite rubbery and sticky, and it gave too much feedback. This gives you certainly some of that feeling, but not as much. It's quite solid. It's quite a stiff nib, just like the original, but it's got a little bit more give, and if you press it, you can feel it's a little bit squidgier. But it's solid enough and it's secure enough in there, it's not going to move anywhere. So yeah, you can do, obviously, just like you would do with the Apple Pencil. You can press on hard, you can press on lightly. It doesn't really seem to make much of a difference with the pressure sensitivity, so that's good. And yeah, it's permanently attached, so it's not going to slip off, you're not going to lose it. And I suppose the good thing is you've got a little portable carry case for the other nibs. So you've got the replacements, so you've got a set of 3. But just like I was showing you, if there are some tasks, say if you're note-taking in a lecture or somewhere where you don't want to be tapping on the screen too much, or you're doing a task where you just want a little bit of a steadier hand, or you want a bit more resistance, then that could really work for you. But then if you've taken this with you, you can always revert back to the original for other tasks where you think the original tip might be better. So I quite like the versatility of having, both your products, both your tips with you as you move along, move around, and also a stand. It's pretty cool. Now it's a new product, it's not actually fully on sale yet, it's on Kickstarter. There is a link down in the video description if you want to go and have a look at that. I'm not being sponsored by the manufacturer. They've sent me the product and said if I want to have a look at it. And because I did review the first product, the first version, and because it got quite a lot of views, they just give me the option to have another look at their second product. Having said that, I'm going to be completely honest about it. I do like it. I think it's pretty cool. Whether I would use it full time, I don't know. That would yet to be seen. In terms of how it wears down, it feels pretty solid enough. I imagine that it's going to last quite a long time. Now the original Apple nib obviously has like a metal component, so when it wears down it starts to reveal that metal component. I'm presuming it has something in there similarly, so maybe over time that rubber is going to wear down and we're going to reveal the internal components of it. I don't know how long they're going to last for. I imagine the way that I use them, probably quite a few months, and there's a set of 3. Now in terms of the cost, well, that's perhaps one of the areas where I'm a little bit unsure. I do think it's a nice product, but as to whether it's worth it for you, it's got to be your own decision, because when they are fully available to buy online, not just as a Kickstarter, they're going to be $46 or 44 euros. Now that is the tips, the nibs, complete with the stand. So this case, that doubles as a stand, everything you see here is going to be at that price. Currently, because it's a Kickstarter product, you'll get it cheaper, you'll get 18% off. So it's $38 or 36 euros. So it is quite a lot of money. I do think it's a cool product, and I'm glad I got it and glad they sent it to me, because I'm going to be able to use the original tip plus these now, and for different kinds of tasks, I'm going to have a product that actually enables me to vary and switch it up. And I also have a nice little stand, a place to store my Apple Pencil. And now you can get covers, just like the original pen tips, the silicone cover. You can buy them all over the internet, any place like Amazon or eBay. You're going to be able to find the standard kind of covers, arguably not quite as good a quality as the pen tips original, but you can still find variations on that. Now they can be quite cheap, whereas this, according to them, is a patented product. So that must include the stand, the case, and the screw-in rubber texture replacement tips as well. And well, it's down to whether it's worth it for you, really. I think this is a pretty cool product. My only reservation would be the price. It's quite a lot, but I can imagine them lasting a year or so, maybe a couple of years, depending on how you use them. If you're really, really heavy-handed and you're really rough and you do a lot of sort of shading and colouring in, it might be a bit less for you. I tend to be quite light with the way that I use it. I tend to be quite light-handed and have a light touch, so I can imagine it lasting me at least 12 months before I get through all 3 of them, perhaps even longer. So to summarise, I feel like it's a little bit of a luxury product. It's a really nice combination, a really nice case for the new tips that gives you a different feel on your Apple Pencil, and a place to store inside your original tips that you're not going to want to lose them, and it doubles up as a stand. It's something that's going to fit in a pocket, or when you're carrying your iPad around, it's not going to consume a lot more space. Yeah, and I think it's a pretty nice thing in its own right. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think about this product, whether you think it represents good value for all the different functions it provides. And like I say, there's a link in the video description to the Kickstarter when you can get an early bird deal of 18% off. I'd just like to reiterate, I'm not getting any financial gain from this. The only thing I've gained is the actual product itself, which is kind of cool, but it doesn't bias me. I've given you my honest opinion. I think it works pretty well. I just don't know at this stage, like I didn't know with the originals, whether I would use it on a regular basis, but I know that lots of people do use the original one on a regular basis, so this could be a fantastic upgrade for those people. Thanks for watching. Please press the thumbs up if you've liked this, hit the subscribe, and also don't forget the bell notification. Normally I do all sorts of painting tutorials as well as reviews, so I hope to catch you back here soon. See you later.